Once again, welcome back to Crypto Tutorial. Today I'm going to talk about Polygon Matic, as you might as well know it, like Matic, and I wanted to show you firstly a news article that I found, and I think it's very interesting to take a look at this, and that's why I will be reading just a small part of this article. So let's take a look at this. Ethereum has benefited from its first mover advantage in maintaining a strong developer community. According to a recent report, there are more people working on Ethereum than the rest of the layer 1 blockchains combined, except for Bitcoin. The network has set the standard for what's possible with this new technology and serves as the infrastructure for many valuable projects. However, whether it be failed transactions in decentralized finance or paying hundreds in gas fees to mint an NFT, Ethereum owning scalability issues have become a serious hindrance to potential of its applications, most of which cannot sustain themselves until the ever upcoming deployment of Ethereum 2.0. There are different approaches to solving this problem, and they all propose a way around what is known as the scalability trilemma. Blockchain systems can only at most have two of the following three properties: decentralization, scalability, and security. That is of utmost importance. And let's take a look a little bit further. From centralized chains to layer 2 solutions to better layer 1 blockchains, different projects have negotiated between these three properties to varied results. A few notable ones have started to gain traction as developers see them in solutions that fit the needs of their projects. So we have the Binance Smart Chain, we have Freeton. It is a coin that was mostly used on Telegram, but I will look at Polygon right now. And what we are seeing over here, what is being written is actually this particle over here. It says Polygon, formerly known as Matic. This protocol has doubled its developer community over the past year by making scalability solutions modular and composable. Polygon is EVM compatible ecosystem that consists of 4 fully abstracted layers of service that developers can use at their convenience. Although State Rope and optimistic growth have been announced, currently it only offers a proof of stake Comet chain and a plasma chain that relies on the main Ethereum chain for security. This jack of all trades approach to sidechains and layer 2 solutions make Polygon a definitive upgrade to Binance Smart Chain in terms of security and decentralization of scalability solution. Developers can pick and choose from a single platform that compromises within the trilemma work best for their applications. They are still dependent, however, on the Ethereum blockchain, since Polygon solutions are based on and limited to this network. So this is of utmost importance. Polygon is only able to use the Ethereum network, but still they're saying that it has it's better secured than Binance Smart Chain. That's something that I in particular think is very important for a cryptocurrency, and for sure Polygon is just, as we'd read before, what you're seeing is that a lot of developers actually started using Polygon during the past year, and that is something of utmost importance as well. You can find this article on Crypto News, and now I will be heading further to the chart. And what we're seeing here is immediately I opened up the chart compared to Bitcoin of Matic network, and what we are seeing is actually something quite interesting playing itself out. As I said yesterday during the live stream, what we're seeing is a ascending triangle getting created, and I personally think that this is quite possible, especially because we already saw 2 touch points on the ascending support line, and yesterday we were rejected by this horizontal resistance line on top, and I'm personally waiting for a retest of this upward sloping support line, or ascending support line as you might call it as well. I personally think this is huge news for Matic network, especially because if we are looking at where we're currently standing at, especially at levels of support and resistance, for sure this upper horizontal resistance will serve as a major level of resistance. We already have been rejected twice when we tried to break above it, and right now we are once again going back down, and maybe even going as far down to retest this upward sloping support line. So that could be possible, but Bitcoin is holding quite strong right now, and that's why I personally think that we have to take a look at this level over here, because I personally think if this major level of resistance holds strong, it could be possible that we won't see Matic breaking out towards the downside even further. But of course, what we are also saying, if we take a look at the MACD, we are seeing that a crossover on the MACD actually happens, and right now we are seeing downward momentum getting created, as you can see over here. And what is of utmost importance, you could see that as well on this part of the chart. Once we had downward momentum, we also saw a downward strength compared to Bitcoin on the Matic compared to Bitcoin chart. So that is quite possible that this will give Matic even more downward momentum for the moment, and that it won't be able to hold on top of this level of support and will break through it and find support maybe underneath it, especially because if you take a look, this level was a major level of resistance previously and was bigger than where we were seeing it here trading as resistance as well. So personally, I think this level of resistance is not as valuable as the one underneath. So it could be possible that we would break through it and find support on top of this level over here instead of the one we are trading just above. And just to take a look at what could possibly happen, I will disable the MACD and I will be enabling this Fibonacci retracement, and I will select from swing high towards swing low, especially because we were previously in a downtrend, and to take a look at where we could possibly find levels of support and resistance. As you can see, we are currently trading right on top of a level of support. We might be finding support on top of it on the 0.681 level of Fibonacci, but it is quite likely that we will break down below to the second level, and not just because I said so previously that this is a more important level of support due to this previous resistance, but it is mostly because the 0.5 Fibonacci level is over there, and a small setback towards the 0.5 Fibonacci level would be still very, very healthy, especially because we saw this super big uptrend during the past days compared to Bitcoin. We saw Matic owning a lot of strength actually, and it was almost 122% towards the upside, this move compared to Bitcoin. So it had quite a lot of strength during the past couple of days. So that's personally why I think this is quite likely to happen, that we would see Matic compared to Bitcoin breaking down and finding support on the 0.5 Fibonacci level. So for sure, I will be taking a close look at what is actually going on the Matic compared to Bitcoin chart, and eventually I would like to see this pattern playing itself out in the long term by finding support once again on this ascending support line over here at approximately 0.382 Fibonacci level. So that could be a target as well if we see a huge downward momentum towards the downside. I think we will be holding strong on top of the 0.382 golden pocket entry, and as well on top of the ascending support line, creating this ascending triangle towards the upside. So that's something I wanted to show you. Before heading further towards the US dollar chart, I wanted to let you know that if you're liking the content so far, don't forget to subscribe to this channel and hit that subscribe button, even that bell notification, if you would like to stay up to date about all the cryptocurrency news that is going on right now. So let's take a look a little bit further and let's go to the Matic compared to the US dollar chart. And what we are seeing over here on the 4-hourly time frame is that we actually broke below this upward sloping support line. We broke through it, and right now it will be serving as resistance once again. This happened previously as well, and Matic was not able to stay above this ascending support line. So that is something in particular I'm not very pumped about, and that is also personally why I think we will see a little bit of more downwards momentum getting created before we will go back up again. And still, it's still looking very strong and compared to Bitcoin chart, but it did not stay above this upward sloping support line, and that is, as you could see, a major level of support and resistance. We had already a few touch points in the past, so that was why I was looking at this level as a level of utmost importance. But right now we are currently trading above previous resistance. As you can see over here, we found resistance on top of this level, and we also had a small resistance before that if we look further back over here. So we traded in between these two levels, so it is very likely that we will be breaking below this level of support where we're currently trading above, breaking down below and trading in between these two levels of support and resistance, in between the $1.49 and the $1.83. So that is possible, but if there is still enough strength, we could see Matic Network find support on top of this level where we're currently trading at, on top of the $1.83. So that is something I will be monitoring closely, and I personally think that a momentum towards the downside on the Bitcoin chart, as we saw previously, will be affecting the price action of Matic, and we will see a breakout towards the downside and finding support in between these two levels of support and resistance, as we saw that happened many times in the past as well. So that is something I consider quite helpful to look at. Also, I wanted to enable the EMA ribbon, and what we're seeing is that right now this is the only factor why I might think that we will see a breakout towards the upside instead than towards the downside. Further down, that is actually because the EMA ribbon is right now, as you can see over here, supporting us for the very first time after we saw a breakout above the EMA ribbon. It is for the first time that we are retesting the EMA ribbon as a major level of support. We found support on top of it over here, and considering that we saw this huge V-shaped recovery of Matic network, it might be possible that we will be able to find support on top of the EMA ribbon, but still the indicators are not telling me that that will be quite probable, especially because the MACD counts on the Bitcoin chart is very important to take a look at. So right now this is looking fine, but it could be looking better, especially if we find support, if we're able to close the 4-hourly candles on top or inside of the EMA ribbon and on top of this level of support. That would be really amazing, because if this happens, the EMA ribbon could be providing enough extra support and we could be staying at this level where we are trading at right now. So that is something I wanted to show you on the 4-hourly time frame, and I will be heading towards the daily candles before going further. And what we are seeing over here is something actually immediately very good to take a look at, and I personally think it is just of utmost importance to take a look at the moving averages. What we are seeing is that we're currently trading above the moving averages on the daily time frame. I personally think that as I said before, these are major levels of support and resistance, and if we enable the EMA ribbon is also right below the candles of today, so that could be serving all as major levels of support. And that is also quite likely, if we break underneath this level of support, we will be finding for sure support on top of the not just the EMA ribbon but also this major level of resistance at $1.49, and that's especially because, as I showed you before, there is a lot of data that we traded in between these two lines, and that could be for sure where we will be finding support, especially because we are seeing the moving averages underneath and also the EMA ribbon. So that is something of utmost importance to take a look at. But also I wanted to show you what a possible pattern could be in the long term on the US dollar chart, not just on the Bitcoin chart. And what I was recognizing is actually this pattern over here. You could be saying this is a possible symmetrical triangle, and these triangles tend to break out towards the up, especially if the previous momentum was towards the upside, and that is what we are seeing currently happening. We already tested this ascending support line twice now, and we are getting rejected already twice on this downward sloping resistance line. I personally think this is a major pattern that you have to take in consideration if you are wanting to buy Matic, and that is personally why I think that if we drop all the way towards this level at $1.49, it will be quite likely that we will stay on top of it just for a few days after breaking a little bit further down below and finding support on top of this upward sloping resistance before breaking out towards the upside, finding support on top of this downward sloping resistance and breaking all the way towards the upside. So that is quite possible. If you ask me, this could be a possible scenario that we will be seeing during the upcoming days playing itself out on the Matic chart. So just to take an even better look, I will be measuring this possible breakout towards the up and downside, and I will be starting today by placing this breakout towards the downside, just to take a look what it potentially could be going to. So if it breaks out towards the downside, we will be seeing a breakout of approximately, let's take a quick look, 100% towards the downside. It is very important that you do understand that this pattern is playing itself out on the daily time frame, so it is a more significant pattern than a pattern on the 4-hourly time frame. And if we see this breakout towards the downside getting created, I personally think it is not possible or not very likely to go all the way down to this level, especially because, as I showed you before, we are seeing very heavy levels of support underneath us. not just by the EMA ribbon, but also as well by all the moving averages. So if we see a breakout towards the downside, we will get supported by the moving averages, the EMA ribbon, and also the regular levels of support and resistance. So I don't think that we will see a momentum towards the downside of 100% getting created. I personally think that it is more likely to break out towards the downside. If it breaks out, we will find support on top of the 100-day moving average, and that could be at that certain moment approximately around 87 cents. So that is possible, but we could also be finding support on top of this level of resistance over here. So let's take a look, and that could be at approximately 91 cents. So that is something I in particular think that is more likely to happen, that we will find support on top of the 100-day moving average, and also finding support by the EMA ribbon if we break out towards the downside. But for sure, what I'm looking at right now is this possible move towards the upside that is getting created on the Polygon chart. And what we're seeing is maybe a possible pattern like this playing itself out inside of this symmetrical triangle, a test of this upward sloping support, and after that breaking out towards the upside, finding support on top of this descending resistance and breaking out once again towards the upside. Well, that would be a huge move of approximately 100% as well, for sure. And then we would be heading with Polygon towards the $3.23 target. And yes, for sure, I think that is very likely, especially if I place this Fibonacci retracement. You are seeing that we are exactly underneath the 1.618 Fibonacci level, and that is at approximately $3.29. So if we are able to pull this breakout towards the upside, it is very likely that we will be finding overhead resistance underneath this Fibonacci level, or maybe if we have enough strength at that certain moment, finding support on top of that Fibonacci level instead of getting rejected and going right back down towards the $2.44 level. So that's something I wanted to tell you about Matic. If you enjoyed the content so far, please do not forget to hit that subscribe button down below. But if you would like to give me a thumbs up on this video, that would be really amazing as well. And before I will be ending this video, I wanted to tell you that if you would like to trade this possible 100% move towards the upside, you can use the top 4 leverage trading exchanges. For example, Gate.io, where you can find up to 736 different cryptocurrencies, and that is just by clicking down below on the link. You will be able to sign up, and on some of the exchanges you will earn up to $2,000 or $1,610 bonus. So you will be supporting the channel by doing so, and that would be very nice. So thank you once again for watching the live stream, this possible move of Matic. I won't be missing out myself. For sure, it's not financial advice, but you have to take a look at this. For right now, that's everything I wanted to tell you, and I wish you a pleasant day. Bye.